All right, welcome to this full body stretch designed to lengthen muscles, relax, and relieve stress. We're gonna need a yoga mat or a spot on the floor, as well as a resistance band. And we'll begin by getting in a seated position with our legs out in front. We'll start by stretching our calf muscles. You can cross one leg if you like, and reaching for the toes. If you find that you can't reach for your toes, you can stop with your hands on your shin, or with a resistance band, placing it just below the toes, and then adding slight tension. Now, it's important to remember that when we're stretching, we don't want to go to the point of pain. We're just looking for that slight tension and then easing off. We're going to hold the stretch for 30 seconds. Think about sitting nice and tall, nice calm inhales through the nose, long exhales through the mouth. And we'll switch sides. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Trying to make those exhales longer than the inhales. Now from there, we'll put both our legs out, going into a hamstring stretch. So leaning forward, trying to keep the back nice and straight, and thinking about allowing the chest to fall towards the knees. Once again, if this is challenging or you're not feeling it, you can take the resistance band, lay down on your back, and place it just below the toes again. Engage the quad to straighten the leg, and then add slight tension in the band, trying to pull that leg up. And you should feel that in the back of the upper leg. If your calves are really tight, you might even feel a little bit of tension in the back of the lower leg as well. And switch sides. And while we're laying on the back, we'll bring both feet down, bring the hands above the head, trying to pull the feet away from the hands and the hands away from the feet, lengthening the body to stretch the abdominals. Letting the belly button rise, filling the abdomen with air. And from there, we'll come to a seated position and transition to our hands and knees. Point the toes and sink back towards the heels. Stretch the lats. You should feel it down in the side. If you want a deeper stretch, you can walk the hands to the left. And over to the right. And back to center. From there, we'll bring the toes underneath, coming into a downward dog, touching the heels down, stepping forward if you need to, pushing through the palms of the hands and through the heels to push the hips towards the ceiling, and you should feel that in the back of the legs. Slowly walk the hands towards the feet, pausing when you've reached your feet for a little extra stretch in the back of the hamstrings, and then slowly rolling vertebrae by vertebrae up. From there, we'll do a side head tilt, stretching the trap, allowing the hand to fall towards the floor. And switch sides. Trying to reach that hand towards the floor for a bit of a deeper stretch. And from there, we'll grab the hands behind the back, trying to open up the shoulders to stretch the pecs. If you find that you can't quite get into this position, then clasping the hands behind the head and opening the elbows. Try to keep the belly button engaged. Don't arch the back, but try and keep a neutral spine. Sink into the heels, keeping the knees slightly bent. Pushing the hands into the back of the head and the head into the hands. And from there, bring one hand out in front, facing with the palm facing the wall, stretching the forearm flexors, as well as getting a bit of a bicep stretch. If you engage the trap or the tricep. And switch sides. And then turning the hand over to stretch the forearm extensors. Let's step forward and come into a kneeling position. And stretch the hip flexors, keeping the weight in the front heel. Engaging the glute of the leg that's back to help push the hips forward. If you'd like a bit of a deeper stretch, you can bring the hands up with a slight lean back, or just rest your hands on your knees. We'll rock back towards that back leg, letting the heel come up on the front and slightly leaning forward, getting another stretch down the hamstrings. If you need to, you can support with your hands on the floor. Try and maintain a neutral spine, keeping the chest up and hinging at the hips. And we'll switch sides. Once again, letting the weight sink into the front heel, engaging the glute of the leg that's back to drive the hips forward and get a deeper stretch down the hip flexors. And coming back onto that front foot heel, hinging at the hips, pushing the hips back, feeling the stretch in the back of the legs or the hamstrings. And we'll come back to a standing position, taking a nice deep breath in, reaching up above the head. And thank you for watching.